Well, good evening, friends. I hope you're all doing well tonight.
Good
I'm Franky.
evening.
This is Mexi, and
Hi, guys.
this is the Think Tank. Hi, James in Lifton, Shauna.
Hi,
Great to
Patty.
see.
Shauna, getting here early. Yeah.
Great to see everybody. So that last stream, it seems I jumped off just as that was. Oh no, it's. It seems like they gave that update like just minutes, that presser, after I got off. So I thought, well, maybe Mexi and I can go through some stuff tonight. So, Mexi, how's it going with you this
I don't like
evening?
Lipton's attitude. Don't like Lipton's attitude.
So, yeah, we chatted this afternoon, talked about a few things, Mexi, and then they put out that presser. It was like, where the hell did that come from?
I missed everything that happened today. I was late to the party. Today was makeup, like get back to work kind of day. And
Back into the daily grind.
yeah, I hate it. It was super busy today.
Yeah, you seemed like you were a busy gal.
Distracted.
Well, fair enough. You just got back from holidays and
Yeah.
back at her. So, there are a few things to go through, actually. I'm thinking maybe look at that press conference first.
I have not seen it.
Ice cream. Yes. James, yes. Okay, well, I'll set that up. And yeah, because I watched it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, like, there was a few things that they said that it was like, what?
Yeah, you
Like,
mentioned a couple things about like the windows or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I get people have different definitions of what broken is.
Right?
So
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, I'm trying to figure out which one it is.
also, guys, we're doing a Zen thing tonight. Whatever you hear in the background is for the dogs. Just making sure
Oh,
that
yes.
they're calm, cool, and collected.
Oh, my word. They've been just nuts lately. Okay, I think I found the one I want.
Not gonna lie, this is actually quite soothing. That means like you got
Yeah, the
quite
dogs
moving.
seem to be kind of napped out. Yeah, it's working. So, yeah, let's go back over to that tab. I'm trying to get back to you. My
Usually
computer's
just give
being.
my dog edibles. Doritos Cool Ranch infused.
Oh, no, me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, so I don't think this is the one I was after right away, but we might as well go through it while we're here. So this is the parents' house.
We home this second. If ever we know where
There, that DNA is up and that it wasn't found. That swipe it or something here. have
Yeah, that sounds like way broken up. I'm not sure what's going on there. So, I guess as soon as Franky comes back, we can try to fix that. I got busy eating Cool Ranch Doritos and totally forgot. Hi, Connor. James, everyone. Lifton. Check your attitude at the door, please. So I guess I'll share my screen and look for that press conference that happened today. If anyone's got a link, if you want to drop it in the chat, please, by all means, do. So it will make my job easier today. And Kohberger. No, I still need Franky to like switch my screen over. Franky, where are you? So I've been busy at work today. I've been gone for 2 weeks. So today was like the first day that I got back into work, and it's been really busy. So I had no time to look up anything today. So did any of you guys catch the presser today? Israel Keys, James? Dude, I'm like, my bad. Sorry, Blifton. Again, check your fucking attitude at the door, bro. Like,
There we are.
Franky, Blifton's giving me a hard time.
Lifted is.
Just immediately start pointing fingers. Like, Blifton's giving me a hard time.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with that.
Today's also the first time that I got to eat something. That was like my first meal of the day. It was 3 Doritos. So,
Name. You know what? This is exactly right. There's some Israel Keys vibes from this guy. That's who I need to add on.
yes, thank you, James. Let me eat. Damn.
See if you can chew even more Doritos while talking. Thanks. Yeah, that's
You can't
twice.
eat just one. You can't eat just one. Especially, I don't know if you guys caught what I said. They're infused.
Oh, yes, Nummy. There you go.
Yeah, you can't eat
There
just
you
one.
go. Enjoy. And oh my God, Connor, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's no fun. Been there. So let the girl eat. I'm gonna try this again to stream and see how it works.
Yum.
And thanks for letting me know, Mexi. Like that's twice. It's like, where'd you go? Okay, let's see here. I'll go back to where I was, and hopefully I don't get booted out. So here we go. Okay, everybody see that okay? Mexi?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So it says the suspect in the November slaying of the 4 University of Idaho students waived extradition from his home state of Pennsylvania to face the unalarming charges in the state of Idaho. Bryan Kohberger arrived at Pennsylvania Monroe County Courthouse Tuesday by prison transport, cuffed in a prison jumpsuit, as he was escorted to the back of the courthouse by armed law enforcement. Kohberger answered no when the judge asked if he had had any mental health issues that would impede his ability to waive his extradition, and Kohberger's father, also in the courtroom, shook his head no. The defendant signed the waiver at the defense table with shackles still around his waist. Judge Worthington ordered Kohberger must be handed over to the custody of the Latta County District Attorney's Office within 10 days. But by the sounds of things, that's going to happen a little faster. So Kohberger has invoked his right to be silent going forward. His state-appointed extradition attorney, Jason LaBarre, said Tuesday's move was expected after the attorney earlier indicated that his client planned to waive extradition from his home state. Okay, I'm just going to pop back here, make sure everything's a go. Let the girl eat. Are Doritos one of your 5 a day?
Yes, they are. I can open up a bag and just eat one and then like put it back down. I'm like, I'm cool.
My Yorkie has spaghetti sauce all over his mouth. Oh, no, that's funny, Connor.
Yes, the music. It's clean gluten. We put it on just for you, so we wouldn't have your snarky remarks tonight.
My old dog loved spaghetti. Oh, yeah, that's sad. Yeah, they definitely win our hearts, do they not? Is this in Pennsylvania? Yes, this article is. This is basically what was said during that extradition hearing. If the meal ain't hot, my dog ain't eating it. Unless, of course, it's chewable sweet snack. Is it? I'm sorry. My dogs are being peaceful. Yes, I'm trying to dig it up. I saw the press conference. I'm trying to get that. Oh, don't be sore. I'm trying to bring that up for you guys because, yes, it was quite interesting. So we got the truck.
I want to see it. I didn't get to see anything today.
I'm trying to find. It.
So, my partner, my boyfriend, he brought up a really good point today. You know, we talk about things sometimes.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. You know how I was like super obsessive about the Facebook post that allegedly came from Dylan, right?
Right.
In the beginning, the Venmo that I still can't verify.
Yeah.
Like these things that were being like posted, and I think we made like a comment at some point in one of the lives, like, wouldn't you want to know if that was like the actual killer?
Right.
Like making those fake posts, like doing those things, like could it be?
Yeah. Yeah.
He made that comment about allegedly made the comment about has anyone else been arrested thing. That was something that John Wayne Gacy, the clown, had said when he got arrested.
Oh, did he now?
Yes, like we're forgetting that like this guy like studied serial killers.
Oh, he sure did.
And he's just like taking, it sounds to me if these things are true, like he's just like taking things out of their playbook, like each.
Right?
That's creepy.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It really is, because you're right. It is like he's taking things out of a playbook. That all
Out
of
of
these,
each one of, and like
yes, agreed.
he's not so sure who he wants to be and identity, so he's just taking a little bit of everyone. Like that is
Yes.
just.
Exactly.
And maybe we're giving this guy way too much credit.
Well, he did make some stupid ass mistakes now, didn't he? He really did. His car is probably one of my biggest questions. Why, if he's so bright, did he leave that car where it could be seen in front of that house or close to that house?
Those are rookie mistakes, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they be
They
like
could-
essentially like if you're studying serial killers and then you're planning out this whole murder, it's premeditated. That's a
Yeah.
rookie mistake, right?
It's very much a rookie mistake. It's very much. There is like lots of these little tiny, there's hints in little areas all over the place, you know, as far as what Ellie is saying, as far as even with the kids, there's a lot of things that are still really unknown about this case.
He said, I'm gone. I can't hear anything but the merry-go-round music. Bye. Bye, Dia. Thank you for being here, though.
I'll go turn off that merry-go-round music. That is funny. That is funny.
But that's not even merry-go-round music. Like, even the merry-go-round music is like cheerier. Cheerios.
Right. There we are. Yeah, it's two dogs running around a forest. And my dogs are just mesmerized by it. But if you can't hear anything but the merry-go-round music, then maybe
We
I'll turn it
apologize.
off.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I did
So
give that notification at the start, though. I did say that that was happening.
So I did find the press conference. So do you want to go through it together, guys?
Yes.
It's like lift music. It is. Okay. So let's see here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Adam Reed. I'm the Director of the Communications Office with the Pennsylvania State Police. Thank you for joining us here. The order of speakers is going to be our Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner, Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Major Christopher Paris, he's our Area 3 Commander, and First Assistant District Attorney, Monroe County, Mike Mancuso. After the speakers have finished, we will then take a handful of questions. Colonel Ivanchik.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Robert Ivanchik, Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police. While I monitored the investigation into the horrific murders of the University of Idaho students, I did not imagine the investigation would lead to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My heart goes out to the families of the victims, their friends, the community of Moscow, and the University of Idaho. No words can heal the pain associated with the loss of a child. Their young lives were ended far too soon. In law enforcement, we understand the best thing we can do for victims and their families is to follow every lead, collect every piece of evidence, and bring those responsible to justice. I am proud of the members of the Pennsylvania State Police who were able to help in this investigation. The cooperative relationship between our local, state, and federal partners stands the test of time. The officers, troopers, and federal agents work together tirelessly, putting in long, difficult hours. Communication and cooperation are imperative to success and to ensure the integrity of the case remains maintained. The culmination of that cooperation ultimately led to take the suspect into custody and afforded the families some sense of peace they deserve. I want to thank the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho State Police, and our partners in the Federal Bureau of Investigation for their support, assistance, and coordination. I also want to recognize the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. And finally, I need to acknowledge the members of the Pennsylvania State Police, specifically members of Troop N, our Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and our Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, who assisted in safely taking the suspect into custody in the early morning hours of December 30th. As previously indicated by Chief James Fry of the Moscow Police Department, specific details regarding this investigation cannot be released until the suspect is extradited to Idaho and presented with the probable cause affidavit. At this time, I will turn the microphone over to Major Christopher Paris, commander of Area 3, who was involved in the coordinated efforts to take the suspect into custody.
Thank you, Colonel. Area 3 comprises troops F, P, N, and R, and is made up of 1,000 approximately of the women and men, civilian and enlisted, in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania. I'd like to introduce to my left Captain Norm Kramer, who's the commander of Troop N Hazleton, which is comprised of Carbon, Monroe, Columbia, and parts of Luzerne counties. I would like to reiterate, as the colonel said, that Idaho law prohibits any release of information contained within the affidavits. So we're going to do our best today to talk about what phase we are currently in the investigation. And it has entered a new phase with the waiver for extradition. And the continuing primary goal is the seeking of justice through successful prosecution and conviction, bearing the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So with that in mind, we're trying to balance essentially two things: the public's desire for information against the need to maintain the integrity of the investigation and protect the suspects, accused at this point's due process. So I'll now attempt to give you an operational picture with the best information I can release at the time. So this begins when the Pennsylvania State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation troopers were contacted by the FBI about assisting with surveillance of the accused in this case. I'd like to take the opportunity to specifically thank several individuals. Special Agent in Charge Jackie McGuire and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Dave Carter from the Philadelphia Field Division, as well as Supervisory Special Agent Bill Vigorito of the Scranton RA. We're very lucky in PSP to have a collaborative relationship with the Bureau, both in Pennsylvania and beyond, and their people are absolutely excellent. So as the investigation progressed, Troop N Criminal Investigation Section, commanded by Captain Kramer over my left shoulder here, began to collaborate with authorities in Idaho. Specifically, I'd like to acknowledge Lieutenant James Curdo, who was here today, Sergeant Anthony Ferdinand, Corporal John Chulak, who is not present with us, and Troopers Leary and Knoll, who are here with us today. It was through this collaboration and the charges pending in Idaho that those troopers were able to obtain search warrants and a fugitive from justice warrant that was prepared here in Monroe County for the location in Chestnut Hill Township and the fugitive from justice warrant for Mr. Kohberger, respectively. I'd like to acknowledge the Monroe County District Attorney, David Christine, as well as First Assistant Mike Mancuso and their entire office. The support that we received was absolutely excellent. Once those warrants were obtained, the Bureau of Emergency and Special Operations, BESO, coordinates our Special Emergency Response Team, CERT. They were selected to serve those warrants, the 3 search warrants and the fugitive from justice warrant. To define what CERT is, it's a full-time tactical team maintained by PSP to deal with high-risk warrant situations, barricades, and other incidents requiring specialized tactical training or other capabilities. From their perspective, we essentially task them to go out and serve a arrest warrant for someone accused of a quadruple murder. They're activated several hundred times a year throughout the Commonwealth. We don't typically hear of their work in a forum like this because they serve the warrant, the person's taken into custody, and they go about their assignment. They are the ultimate professionals. It's a volunteer team. They're highly trained and highly motivated. Captain Norm Kramer over my left shoulder was assigned as the top comm for the CERT activation, which means he was responsible for coordinating our tactical preparations. So tactical assets were then staged in the county, in Monroe County, into the evening of Thursday, December 29th, last Thursday. And in the early hours of Friday, December 30th, those warrants were executed at the location. Mr. Kohberger was taken into custody without incident. The scene was turned over to the FBI Evidence Response Team for processing. Mr. Kohberger was then turned over to the Monroe County Prison, where he has remained in their custody since. I'd like to thank the Monroe County Sheriff and the Stroud Regional Police Department for their support as well during the extradition process. Arrangements currently are being made to deliver Kohberger back to Idaho, where he can have continued due process and face these charges. So it's with that, I will turn it over to First Assistant Mike Mancuso.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Mancuso with the DA's office, the First Assistant District Attorney. I want to give my condolences to the families of the victims out in Idaho for their loss. It's my sincere hope that this marks a clear step in the right direction of effectuating justice for those folks. My office's role was relatively recent. We weren't advised of the presence of the defendant in our county until only a couple days before the apprehension of the defendant. But when we were told, we came together and worked very closely with Captain Kramer, who did an excellent job in almost like a clockwork operation. Part of my duties were to ensure that 3 separate search warrants were issued. Those affidavits attached to those search warrants are still under seal, so I can't discuss their contents with you. But one was for the person of Mr. Kohberger, collecting DNA and photographs, that sort of thing. One was for the white Elantra vehicle, which I understand has been seized and is being processed. And one was for the address, the residence itself that he was living in with his family. I was at the scene, and I have to say that Major Paris and Captain Norm Kramer did an outstanding job in coordinating the efforts, not only of the numerous Pennsylvania State police troopers there, but officers from other jurisdictions and disciplines within those jurisdictions to make this a very smooth, highly competent professional operation. It is a quirk, apparently. It's not in the norm of the states I'm familiar with that Idaho does not release their probable cause affidavit in support of their arrest warrant until after their defendant is brought or returned to that state. But having read those documents and the sealed affidavits of probable cause, I definitely believe that one of the main reasons the defendant chose to waive extradition and hurry his return back to Idaho was the need to know what was in those documents. So that's a significant development. Beyond that, looking at the scope of the situation and the ties this defendant has to my county, I would hold our office at the disposal of the Idaho authorities to help facilitate a complete background investigation into the defendant, both activities prior to the murders occurring within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and his activities after the murders in Pennsylvania. So we stand ready to assist with that effort on an ongoing basis. Thank you.
We can now open it up for questions.
Can you tell us what state police specifically did, or can you give us any indication as to the operations of state police when you were notified? And you talk about putting tactical in the area. How long were they there? And what's the
We're not in a position to give you an exact time. It was at some point prior to when the surveillance was taken as the investigation progressed to a point where search warrants could be obtained and the probable cause for those search warrants and an arrest warrant, a fugitive from justice warrant based on the arrest warrant out in Idaho were obtained. We began to take the tactical steps to plan to serve them.
Were you collecting evidence prior to his arrest?
At this point, like we said, it's very much pertinent to what's in the affidavits, which we cannot speak about.
What's it about his demeanor when the arrest actually happened?
Present sense impression, as likewise ongoing investigation, can't discuss.
How, Prop 69 News, how is Kohberger being transported back to Idaho?
Those arrangements are being discussed right now, as well as the logistics. The court order says, those of you who heard it today, it's within the next 10 days. So we're currently working on that in coordination with authorities out in Idaho. Sir, I can't comment. I don't know.
Is he being held in the Monroe County Jail until he's extradited, or was he removed to another?
No, he is lodged in since he was dropped off there Friday morning. He's resided in Monroe County Prison.
Still, until he's
Correct, yes.
extradited, he'll be there.
Are the marshals moving him, or which group?
At this point, that's still being coordinated between the state police and the authorities out there. We don't know.
Will the affidavit be unsealed when he arrives in Idaho?
I don't want to speak out of my lane. When I watched the press conference on Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I was alerted to the fact that according to Idaho state law, that the affidavits have to be served to him once he's extradited back before they could be unsealed.
Has he say has anyone else been arrested?
Ongoing investigation.
Has the motive been determined?
I can't comment on that either. I apologize.
Who transports him, sir? Does Pennsylvania State Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department?
He's presently back. He was transported from the courthouse by Monroe County Sheriff. And the logistics of who's going to transport him out to Idaho are still being discussed. We don't know. Yeah.
Can you confirm the time of his arrest and how much law enforcement presence there actually was?
I would say it was in the early morning hours of Friday, December 30th. Assets on probably in the neighborhood of 50.
Were you afraid he was going to get tipped off before you got him?
I would say overall about this entire operation, and the credit goes, this is a part that the state police played humbly. You look at Moscow Police Department, 38 sworn, 19,000 leads, the video evidence that they had to develop in order to put that out, all public source information. But when you talk about the search of a high-risk warrant for someone who's committed or alleged to have committed 4 homicides, there's nothing routine about that. And all of those tactical steps that were taken were in conjunction with the best efforts of the authorities, local, state, and federal, both in Idaho and here, to ensure that we could do it safely and to ensure that we could get him into custody and that those service of the search warrants could occur.
Sir, can we ask you a question of the first assistant district attorney? Mr. Mancuso, you described having read to a degree the contents of that affidavit of probable cause, and that you possibly speculated or theorized that he wanted to get back to read that as well, since he can't read that. Can you give us an indication, though, of the seriousness of what you did read? I know you can't talk about it, but can you share with us something?
Yeah, I can't get into the details, sir, but I can say it involved the defendant's connection to a scene of a crime consisting of 4 murdered people. So that's the significance of it.
Can you confirm that there is a connection between Bryan Kohberger and any of the victims?
I can't discuss that.
How confident are you that he is guilty of these crimes?
That wouldn't be my place to say. Certainly confident enough that there was ample probable cause for the issuance of the various warrants in the case.
What was your reaction when you heard this? You've all talked about you followed this. This happened states away. When you get that call, or you all get the call, that this person could be right here in your home area, what's your reaction?
Well, I was surprised, really, Monroe County of all places. It hits close to home. It's a normal human reaction, I would think, under the circumstances.
Do you know when he and his father left Idaho or Washington and drove to Pennsylvania, what that date was?
No, I don't know the exact date, man.
Approximately, we understand the middle of December. Is that correct?
I think that's approximate.
And what about, we heard reports that they were stopped not once but twice on the highway. Can you elaborate?
I'll defer to his Pennsylvania public defender on that.
Do you have reason
reason to believe that Kohbergers connected to other crimes and unsolved mysteries in the area?
I wouldn't answer that question at this time.
We start looking at some that may be unsolved, where do you move it around?
That would be a normal thing to do.
Question for the PSP here. Said he was taken without incident. Was it safe to say that, I shouldn't say it's safe to say, but did it seem like he was expecting?
I wouldn't comment on what his present sense was. I would just comment that the professionalism of the CERT team and their tactical training definitely proved in a situation like this to do it in the most tactically sound and fastest way possible.
Was there anybody else in the house at the time?
His parents were in the house at the time.
Did they say anything to you?
Again, present sense impression. I can't comment on that ongoing investigation.
You went down the door.
Force was used. The warrants were issued for evening search warrants, which in Pennsylvania requires additional probable cause in order to serve them at the hours of darkness. I would defer to the first assistant to talk about the legal burden that you bear in order to obtain those. But from a tactical standpoint, based upon all of the briefings that we had developed and all of the intelligence we had developed, we thought that was the best time to serve it.
And what tipped off that Pennsylvania was involved with this?
They were alerted by the FBI. Troopers in the Bureau of Criminal Investigation were alerted.
Anything on like his social media pages that tipped anything?
I can't comment. I don't know.
So that his parents been cooperative in this whole process?
Can't comment. Ongoing, like I said. State Police's role here was to serve the warrants and assist with the surveillance, which we've done. We've been part of major investigations. You know, these are men and women who take an oath to protect their communities and the Commonwealth here. We're very humbled with the opportunity that we had, given a case that has really gained international attention, to play a small part in it. And our hat is off to Moscow PD again with the size and the complexity of this investigation and the work that they've done to get us here today. And this is only the beginning of the next step.
If it's determined that anyone here in Pennsylvania either helped to conceal or dispose of any evidence, then you would be a part of this case, or would it go?
I would say that we would pledge whatever support we can for ongoing investigations with the Idaho authorities here in Pennsylvania. Absolutely. We would help them in any way we could.
Were there any weapons found in the home?
I don't want to get into what was actually seized in the house pursuant to the evidentiary nature of it.
Can you give any insight into why you all decided to go in overnight to make the arrest?
Those are tactical decisions in terms of base surveillance. I don't want to give out too many tactical factors that go into that situation, but obviously surveillance was conducted and we wanted to go in at a time when we thought it would be the safest for everybody, safest for anybody else in the house, safest for Mr. Kohberger, and safest for our people.
There was an interesting question asked earlier about the care that needed to be taken to not tip the suspect off. Could you describe how long that lid had to be on things and how many people were involved in it? Like how many people knew and for how long?
So I would say, I would answer the question this way. I don't want to get into a timeline in terms of when we were notified by the FBI and when the surveillance began. Obviously, we know on Thursday night into Friday morning is when the warrants were served. I would say, as a credit to the professionals, both standing behind me and others not here, many others not here, the information was held very close. And we did not want to have any situation where Mr. Kohberger potentially would be tipped off. So as a result of that, I would say a close number of approximately 7 to 8 individuals, maybe 10 on the most within the PSP side of this operation knew about it.
And for days, can we say? Or?
I would say for a period of time. I would not feel comfortable commenting any more than that, for a period of time. And then as the tactical assets were brought in, people were briefed.
The movement plan is finally decided. Will there be an announcement? Will
Not from the state police. So we would defer to Moscow and the authorities in Idaho.
when he starts leaving Pennsylvania?
Well, we have security concerns now, obviously, to move any prisoner. Anytime you move somebody from a secure prison to another place, we don't want to, there won't be an announcement from the state police in terms of those logistics, but they're being worked on right now.
Can you give us your best guess when you think he might be moved roughly? Tomorrow?
We would like to do it as soon as possible, but the court order says 10 days. We have 10 days to coordinate it.
Can you possibly be on a plane tonight? Is it possible he could be on a plane tonight? That's a possibility, right?
I would think that's probably not likely.
Private plane, or would you fly commercially?
We're looking into that right now.
Can you confirm or deny that a window was broken in order to gain access into the home?
There were multiple windows that were broken, I believe, to gain access, as well as multiple doors.
So this is something that very much interested me. Let's see here. Mexi. So multiple doors and windows. Did you hear that, Mexi?
Yes. Yes.
So what is your take on that?
What is your definition of broken?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I
faulty?
found
Like, what is the, what's the definition on that? Because like you said they mentioned broken, right?
Yes. I'll do that little part again and then I'll talk.
Where
Can you confirm?
broken to me, like it you can't lock it. It can't be latched. Like I would consider that broken. Like
okay.
Or do they mean like smashed in, broken? Like the
Yeah.
window itself is like glass on the floor, broken.
We'll take a look at that picture up in that room that we were talking about earlier and see what we think.
Guess when you think he might be moved roughly, tomorrow?
We would like to do it as soon as possible, but the court order says 10 days. We have 10 days to coordinate it.
Can he actually be on a plane tonight? Is it possible he could be on a plane tonight? That's a possibility, right?
I can't, I would think that's probably not likely.
Private plane, or would you like commercial?
We're looking into that right now.
Can you confirm or deny that a window was broken in order to gain access into the home?
There were multiple windows that were broken, I believe, to gain access, as well as multiple doors. I think the video of the house after the fact confirms that. And that would all be part of the tactical plan based on the floor plan of the house, et cetera, and what the CERT operators would do to serve those warrants.
Was this suspect on your radar before, and are you looking at any connections?
Wouldn't comment on that based on the ongoing nature.
How about it? Did he have a criminal past? According to the UJS, I didn't see anything.
I can't comment on a person's criminal history during an ongoing investigation.
This guy does too many press conferences.
Ready to assist in giving you a complete background of the defendant? What specifically is law enforcement interested in?
That'll be the last question after Mr. McPherson. In any case of this nature, and I prosecuted a fair share of homicides, double homicides, that sort of thing. You want to look at any evidence of possible motive. You want to look at any evidence of a pattern.
Jasmine, what are you doing?
Modus operandi or method. You want to get into the subject's character, mental state to the best you can, that sort of thing. So it'll be an all-encompassing effort, which we stand ready for. Okay. We have our ways. Okay, thank you.
This guy.
Right? So that's it. That's that.
Okay. So a lot of things like who are these guys? Is this like the Pennsylvania State Police that was talking?
That there?
Yeah.
I can't remember what that guy's, but I got confused. This guy to that guy to this guy to that guy.
So these guys seem like they're really experienced as far as answering questions. Can't answer that, won't answer that. They're like super quick to like jump on the podium and just like, no, sorry. Yeah. Ask me a question that I can answer.
Right.
They seem very experienced in that.
Very, very much like what the Idaho police were giving us, along the same lines. Whole bunch of nuttin'. So let's see here.
But even then, like if you hear the press conferences that like Chief Fry gave, or like just the little statements that he was giving, like in the YouTube videos, they weren't as direct, as conclusive, as just definitive as these guys spoke just now. Like they were very like, no, sorry, I can't, like quick, like before the person even finished answering the question or like asking the question, they had already, they just, nope, I already know what you're going to ask. Can't answer that.
Oh, I know. It was a whole bunch of nothing. We learned a little bit, but very, very little. Very, very little.
There was a bunch of things that I wanted to add to that because as he was speaking, I should write notes. I don't write notes, but
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I wanted to add to that, but there's one thing that's really bothered me. I've heard a couple of news stations like report it this way, where they said that they specifically use the word fled or fleeing. They're trying to say that he like fled to Pennsylvania. This dude didn't flee anywhere.
Exactly.
He was just visiting his parents. Like this, he had every intention to come back. You know,
I
was
think
probably
so.
already enrolled, like was gonna take classes. Like, he had a whole life that he was planning to come back to. So I don't think there was any fleeing involved. I'm really interested to see how like the prosecution plays that.
Well, and at the same time, it sounds like that drive was planned. I'm not quite sure why, but it does sound like that drive was planned.
I don't find that drive weird at all because my father would do that. Like if I just ever was just like, hey, I'm gonna drive down to see you guys, my dad would be like, I'm buying a plane ticket. I'll meet you. I'll drive down with you.
Right.
But what I do find odd in that is the whole why aspect of it. Like, because I can very much make the drive home to my parents by myself. But there's going to be stops. You know, I'm going to get a hotel. I'm going to stay overnight, maybe at a friend's house, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But he had his father drive back. Like, they bought a plane ticket. They maybe planned this out, whatever. And he was going to drive with him back to Pennsylvania. But then Bryan was supposed to make the drive back by himself. So if your reasoning for him driving with you was like, oh, I'm scared, I didn't want to make that trip by myself kind of thing, it's bullshit because you're planning on making it back by yourself anyway. You're muted, Franky. There you go.
Yeah, the dog's still singing. Is like, I'm trying to find that picture of that window.
Yes, the one that you had showed on one of your lives.
Yes, I'm looking for it because I do believe that you're right. I do think that window was broken.
It looked completely shattered.
Which I find it did. Oh my word! Sorry, guys. Oh.
But like, as would you really risk that? Would you risk breaking a window that is noticeable? Like, because as it's said that like Maddie came home, they let the dog out. So it's obvious he didn't break the sliding glass door. He didn't break a kitchen window. Maybe one of the spare bedrooms that no one was in, maybe that was broken into. But you would notice those things. Like if you broke a window into an occupied room, that's something that you would notice. There's glass on the fucking floor. Like, that's not a normal thing. If that wasn't there before, like, why aren't you freaking out? You're muted, Franky.
Okay. Oh, she's gonna start again. Oh my word.
Well, Dia's gone. I mean, we can.
jazzy.
We can play the merry-go-round music.
Right? That was working. It was working. But yeah, it's not the most enjoyable music, but it was keeping the dogs calm. Oh my goodness. So I am going to
I don't know, Blifton. That's what we're trying to figure out is what broken windows. And what is the definition of broken exactly to them? What do they consider broken? You can't latch it, you can't lock it. Or is it just shattered? Is it cracked?
Yeah.
Because there was that screen, that window screen.
Yep.
That was on the floor next to the kitchen.
Yeah.
But how long was that there?
Well, and you know what? That's the thing. That one there, weren't we talking a little earlier? And it was like, well, that one looked like it had been there for a little while.
Yeah, the screen had looked like it had been like out of its place for a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Isn't that something when you want to find something that's just like
you can't find it?
not there. And let's see here. And it was popping up everywhere earlier. But yeah, okay, there's that one screen that is, like you say, it's down by the sliding doors. And then there's this, it's kind of like a really bright picture. And it's showing that fellow taking a picture or a video or something along those lines in what looked to be Maddie's bedroom.
Yeah. I remember seeing that because I didn't know if that was like a reflection that made it look shattered that way, but like the way it was, even like if it was shattered, the way it looked was like very placed almost, because I can't imagine a window actually breaking the way that looked like
right
broke.
Yeah, exactly Oh, I'm looking and sometimes they have been removing a lot of pictures and a lot of video footage and blurring things and doing all sorts of different stuff. Like you don't know if they've taken it off for exactly that reason, because it does show that broken window possibly.
Yeah, now you're getting into like the really important parts of all of this, the trial, whatnot. You definitely want to keep a lot of those things. Because this would be a way someone could incriminate themselves, like you can trip them up on a question about what window,
right,
and they might spill something that you did not, or the public did know prior.
Wonder if I look under forensics. He's saying basically that there was multiple doors and windows that seem to have been tried. So, yeah. So what does that mean exactly? Like, how did that little effer get into that house?
Yeah, but if he stalked them, if he was stalking them, he could have disabled some window, some door, like prior to the day of, too.
Yeah. Very true. And they're talking about him possibly already being in that house.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. I'm going to try forensics. Yeah, I've been hearing that a little bit. And I mean, anything's possible. Again, where did this guy park?
And I've thought
he couldn't have
more
been.
about Murphy too. And I know, like they say, I made that comment yesterday about like your dog should bark kind of thing, but I thought like more into this. And even though he's not a barker, he would still be somewhat like alertive to
One would
another
certainly
individual in the home, right? Like if he was already hiding there, wouldn't the dog be like, "Hey, come look in this door," like, or
Right,
just like super
exactly.
interested, even if it's not barking?
Yeah. 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 And, you know, was he in the bedroom with Maddie? And if she closed that door behind her or whatever, Murphy would have still been away from any of these attacks. Or even if this guy closed Murphy in, because I do find it really interesting that Murphy was in a room.
That just goes like beyond like all the dog psychology or just like how dogs are supposed to react that I've ever heard of. You know, like even if they're not barkers, if they're non-aggressive, like dogs are really attached to their humans. Like, so if you get up,
They
they
really
get up, walk out the door, they're right at your feet. Like,
yes.
How was he able to control that unless the dog was already controlled, whether that be in a kennel? A lot of people do that. You put their dogs in a kennel.
That's very true.
And if that's the case, well, that would be just easily explainable, like at that point. But I just have a hard time believing that like a dog won't. If you let your dog loose in the house, he's just a free roamer. Like he's gonna let you know that someone else is in there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. My dogs. Well, I don't think they'd let anybody in, but they certainly wouldn't let a person in quietly. You know, and dogs do have that way about them that they
know. They would
feel
know
if
if
there's
you're
like
malicious
a bad.
and yeah.
Yeah.
How did this guy not?
My dogs.
Again, I just want to say, God bless Murphy. I love all dogs, and Murphy seems like a freaking angel. But
Oh
is
my
that like
God, right?
Did he really go against all of his instincts and like not try, not bark, not whine, not anything?
Not very true. Yeah, very, very true. Good Lord, how am I not finding this? Well, well, well.
Oh, you can't find. I can't find a. I have a video, but I don't think it's in the video.
I'm just gonna. I've got it in here. I'm gonna stop looking for it and. I just want to really take a look at that picture, like try and figure out if that window is broken because it certainly looked it.
But I mean, like we've also looked at a lot of pictures from that house, and those windows did not look smashed into. Like,
no, I agree. No, I agree. Shh, Jazzy, let's not say we did. Well, my
there was
word.
also a picture I remember like Blifton way back when was just like, are those just like spectators? And they were taking a picture of right by the kitchen.
Right.
And I had that picture and I know I can't find it.
Isn't that right? That's exactly what I'm having problems with right now. So what it, yeah, it's like, where is this thing? Good Lord, Martha.
Everything else, if you guys want to look at trees or something, I got that. But I do not have any pictures of broken windows.
I'm not finding it. Damn. And that's okay. I mean, yeah, we've looked at this house every single possible angle, right?
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to break. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, if they mean by broken, they mean the broken lock. Like, you
Right.
can't latch it. That's easy to break. Just pop in a blade into there. Super easy to break. Not giving pro tips, just saying.
Let's see here. Dun 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 dun. Okay,
Yeah,
so
ran to the crime scene. Let's see. Broken windows at Idaho. So I was super specific with like the Google search. I said broken windows at Idaho murders. And the first thing that pops up is law enforcement officials breaking windows and doors when executing
seriously?
the warrant. Yeah.
Okay, this is at the
Well, that would be at his house, his parents' house.
his parents' house. Yeah. Yeah. Because they did say that that there was force.
Yeah. So did the cop get the question confused, or was he just playing dumb?
Well, and this is it, right?
Because why would anybody care about like the broken
So
windows at a house that's you served a search warrant on? Like,
so Murphy is a golden doodle. So a lab and like a standard poodle mix. I used to have one, and oh, they're adorable.
they are cute.
Yeah, they supposedly let him out to go to the bathroom beforehand. So it makes me wonder, how do they know that? You know, if the girls downstairs couldn't hear anything, how'd they know that the dog was let out?
And that came from Kaylee's sister.
Right.
How did she know that? Like, she made a real specific point to say they did everything right. They partnered up. They went out together, buddy system. They took a cab home.
Yep.
They did everything right. They locked up. Like, how do you know all those things?
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the broken windows because the guy at the press conference mentioned it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't specific about if that was at the where they served the search warrant or if it was at the actual scene of the crime. He wasn't specific. He just answered the question and was just like, there was lots of broken windows. Like,
yeah, and doors. Like there was lots of different areas that he attempted to get in by the sounds of things. So I don't know. Did he eventually get into those sliding doors by rigging it somehow? You know, jimmying it? Yeah, this was, Dandy, this is the thing. Like he came out with this out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, there was multiple broken windows and doors. And it's like, what the hell does that
what
mean?
house? Like that's why we're trying to figure out if it was the scene of the crime or what this guy is talking about.
What was he talking about?
He wasn't specific.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Okay, so I'm wondering.
Yeah, and nothing pops up when I look at Google just the thing about multiple doors and windows being broken at his house, which
Right.
I don't care about that. Like, that's what you get.
No. Yeah, that's
That's
not
what
a
happens when you're
concern.
accused of murder. You get your windows and doors broken into. Sorry. Not sorry.
Right. And the thing is a person's just not seeing where these where these windows are broken. Like, what is he talking about? Because
yeah,
we're not seeing them at 1122. And
that press conference was
yeah,
interesting.
I'm looking. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. It really, really was.
I'm gonna have to watch that again sober next time. And take some notes. There was definitely a lot of things he said that I was like, ooh, I have a comment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at this here. Come on. I'm going to get rid of this. My computer is really messing up. Okay, I'm going to cancel that and then I'm going to try it again. Okay. Come on. Okay, let's take a look at this. So this is the video when during the traffic stop, which I thought was pretty interesting. He looks a little concerned there, doesn't he? Just going to check and see if I'm even there.
Hold on. I did think, I haven't seen the video, but I've kind of started watching Cinema Shogun's little video, and I brought up this thought to you, like, what if both of those pullovers that he had in Indiana was like a staged, purposeful thing by law enforcement?
Okay.
Good. Jazzy. She's good. Are you still muted? What's going on?
This computer's acting so bizarre.
I walked
It's like,
away for a second to grab something to drink, and I was like, I haven't heard anything.
oh, it's just acting so bizarre. Okay. Let's see now if it'll let me do this. Okay, let's see.
Go off the state, please get your license and registration. What I stopped you in when you're driving by me there, you're looking close to back at semi. One car between you and the back of this trailer. I'm about one car going 10 miles an hour, so you're going 60 or 70 miles an hour. You're about 6 or 7 cars. Oh, you guys did? Yeah. Just take that. So.
You all right, right, Clifton, though. That car looks filthy.
We don't have any SUVs. It was a county guy. Was it like a black SUV? Yeah. Okay. All right. You thought you guys were following too closely? Okay. Today? Well, I'm not going to give you guys another ticket or warning if you just got stopped. Just make sure you give yourself plenty of room, okay? So like I said, it's all about how fast you're going, okay? So if you're going 10 miles an hour, you only need one car. Or if you're going, so speed limit here is 7. If you're going 7 miles an hour, you need 7 cars. Yeah. That's the easy way to explain it. Yeah. It's really it's if you're in the B&B man, it says 2 seconds. All right, you guys have a safe trip. Where y'all headed? Thank you so much for the time. Where y'all headed to? Where at? Yeah, it's a long haul. You guys scared of airplanes?
This is an interesting conversation, Franky.
That's it. Thank you, sis.
So that didn't show us much, did it?
No, but it said a lot. I think it says a lot. And this dude's in an unmarked cruiser.
Yeah.
This very much could have been like just a ploy.
Right?
Because they had said, they did put out there that they had been tracking him.
Yeah.
For a while. This literally just could have been a ploy. Just a part of the guy over. Take a look, see inside of his vehicle. Get a sense of his demeanor. All of these things are very telling, and like the conversation that they had is interesting, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So look at his face. This is one of the let's see if I can get it bigger.
I almost want to watch it again. He said thank you. He was like, thank you. And the cop was like, why thank me? Like, what did I do? Like, very.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of like when you're just trying to placate someone or just trying to get info from someone, you ask like these random questions. Like,
yes.
You say certain things, like you open the door for someone, right? And like at just a random grocery store, and they say thank you. You're just like, oh, you're very welcome. Or they say nothing, and you make a snarky comment about, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Like, just living my life to open doors for you.
Right.
But he also asked him about like planes. Like he was like, oh, you guys are scared of flying? Like, like.
Yeah.
Those are very specific questions. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely, they are.
It's interesting.
If you are type 2 and take metformin, well,
check your feet and legs for these two.
Come on, give me a break.
And they got pulled over twice in Indiana.
Right.
Which is also, again, coincidence maybe, but Delphi. But the fact that he got pulled over twice, like back to back, also tells you something, because most cops, regardless if they give you a ticket or not, they still have to report. It's still in the system. If they stop someone. So for you to get pulled over again, and then they gave you a completely different reason this time. Oh, you were following someone too closely. What cop ever pulls over anyone for following?
That's very
someone
true.
too closely?
Yeah, that's very true. Oh, his therapist sister.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Mentioned that yesterday. Yeah. She wrote a poem too. So, I had mentioned that like his mom was writing letters to the newspaper. And in one of the recent letters that she wrote, she included a poem that was written by this psychiatrist sister about the Uvalde school shooting. It's on Discord. See if I can find it really quick. I'll send you the link to it.
Sorry, I had to let the beings out.
Good. Here we go.
Okay, so where do I find the link? Discord?
I'm about to send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to have known. It's a nationwide bolo, as you said, Dandy. Like, everyone's on a search for a white Elantra. Indiana isn't sitting around playing. Like, it just seems very strategic, very staged, very, hey, pull that guy over. Check to see what's up.
Agreed. So this is it here. Bereft of their laughter, there is now not a sound. As we lower our children into the ground, small hands and feet buried 6 feet deep into the earth of the world that failed them. Is that the one?
Yep. Deep.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, you get a sense that he doesn't come from a family that obviously doesn't care. Like, they care.
Right.
They have absolute views on the world, and they care about people's rights and their privileges and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And you raise a son like this, allegedly.
Oh, my word. I just couldn't even imagine having your child turn out to be this kind of monster.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you do? Still love your child?
Yeah, I think at least a mother still does, I think.
That's got to be tough, right? That's like a conflicting.
Yep.
Because that's what I was saying yesterday. Like, she wrote about being against the death penalty.
Yeah.
The death penalty is gonna be, it's gotta be it's gotta be on the table for this. Unless he pleads out, he confesses and pleads out and says that he'll take so many
Perry,
lives.
nice to see you. Yes.
But
Yes.
yes, Perry, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
2015 Elantra is what he had.
Yes. Yes. So do you think the parents know anything?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you, like...
I just want to know if they recovered the weapons. So far, they're saying not Perry. Oh, dandy. Yeah.
I'm not a parent, so I don't know. I can only relate to so many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what would be a good example? A good example would be Casey Anthony's father.
Right.
This would be a good example of, do parents actually know? I think he knew that his daughter was a filthy little murderous hag, and he knew it in his gut, but he was also fighting that instinctual, that's my child, I must protect her kind of love thing.
Yeah. You know, I mean, let's just all knock on wood and hope we never have to deal with a situation like this, because I really have no idea
How you would be.
No, I don't. Exactly, Perry. It's unimaginable. And I feel horrible for those parents on both ends, because they've lost their children. From the house, they have lost their children. And his parents are in the process of losing their son. And, you know, if the world works properly in this case, he's going away.
If he did it.
Oh, yeah, allegedly. You know? Yeah,
Let's not forget.
allegedly.
Just
Yeah.
remember, guys, all these are opinions, all alleged. We don't really know.
Well, that's it. Yep.
But
Not
how do
a
you even begin
professional.
to fight that natural, like I said, like instinctual love for your child?
Yeah.
Yet still have that gut feeling that
Look at how
they're not right.
Andre's dealt with Bryan.
Oh, they freaking knew. They knew.
Right?
They knew.
So, I mean, I think a lot of times these parents, they know a lot more
But
than
I also think, and this is just my opinion, just mine alone, nobody else's, that it was one of his parents.
Yeah.
I pulled the trigger on him.
Yeah, even Jennifer Coffindoffer believes that that is the most likely, being that his fatal injury was on the left side and Bryan was right-handed.
Yeah.
So is that right? Idaho said they're going for the death penalty.
But they
Damn
should.
straight.
I would hope that that's, like, it has to be on the table, because I'm sorry, it just has to be. And just let it up to the jury. Whatever it is that they decide is
Yeah.
on them.
Exactly. Exactly.
But as long as it's on the table, I think I'll be happy. If it's proven without a reasonable doubt that it's him.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I mean, that is a very, very heavy sentence. Like, there's nothing heavier. So if this is on the table, they just have to make damn sure that they know what the hell they're doing. Because if there's even a sliver of doubt, you can't do it. You know? Yeah, good call, Dandy. They said they only watched him for 4 days. If they didn't have his DNA yet, why would they follow him? Were they tracking data originally? Well, I do think they had
DNA.
A DNA match by this
They
point.
had the DNA, they just had no one to place it to, because he was not in any databases. He wasn't on
Exactly.
He didn't have past crimes.
So it went by familial
And that's
DNA.
the genealogy side of it, which again, blows my mind because they did this so quickly. It was what, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, give or take?
Just about 7 weeks, I think.
That they were able to separate that DNA profile. I mean, I'm assuming that it comes from a blood pool.
Right.
Could have came from somewhere completely separate where it was just that specific DNA, which would have been a lot easier.
Right.
But they were able to get that sample and then put it into a public database and get results that quickly. That's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, they had the FBI to help them out, which is...
Well, yeah, they probably put a rush on that, yeah.
Right. So they may have a familial match, which left a slight question mark over whether it was the father or son.
But who pays for that? Who do you think pays for that? Because if you're putting it into a public database, you're giving me money for that. You're paying me for that. Like, who's paying? Who's flipping the bill on that?
I would say the FBI.
FBI?
I would think. But I mean, with that said, they did give them $1 million.
Yeah, so I wonder if that was part of the...
Yeah.
It wouldn't take $1 million to, you know, expedite results, but it's a good start.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think to this point, as far as the search goes, they had spent a little over $250,000, if I remember correctly. So they were able to keep it nicely under budget. And, you know, this DNA, we don't know where it has come from. I think this guy went in there with, I think he was very well prepared when he went in there. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was wearing booties and the rest of it.
At least he thought he was prepared, because, like, I don't see a reason, if it is true, that he was wearing gloves after the fact.
Yeah.
Or even, for that matter, driving across states. That's dangerous as a accused murderer. I don't see why he would do that. If he knew that everything went down perfectly, there, like, you wouldn't find blood, you wouldn't find scratches, you wouldn't find DNA under the fingernails, you wouldn't find anything on him, fingerprints, nothing.
Right.
Why would he bother after the fact?
I don't know. The only thing that I can come up with is possibly he had a wound.
Yeah. But at that point, what the fuck does it matter? Leaving your fingerprints places, your DNA, like, I mean, your DNA, obviously, but your fingerprints wouldn't matter. And he should have been a lot more careful. If he really studied those serial killers, he would know that that's exactly how the Golden State Killer got caught, was through genealogy and throwing his trash out in public.
Yeah, he left a lot of different ways.
So he can't be that smart.
Exactly. And that's kind of what they're saying. Like, if he's as smart as he thinks he is, he sure made a lot of rookie mistakes.
Yes. Down to the cell phone data that they can actually say that he was stalking them. Like, those are all, bro.
Yeah.
You can't make her, like, if the only reason to carry a cell phone these days is for emergencies, right? And GPS, maybe.
Right. Right. You know, yeah, I do. I think he made some mistakes, because it sounds like they are able to see from his data that he was literally following these kids. And I still wonder about that damn car that was in that window, in that reflection.
Yes.
I'm finding that
in the other footage.
Oh, I'm feeling really kind of creeped out about that now. You know? Oh, I agree, Blifton. It happened fast. I think it was a pretty fast attack. I think that, personally, I think that it might have got a little bit more out of hand than what he was expecting. especially being that Ethan and Xana were supposedly as aggressive as it sounds like they were. And I agree with you, Blifton, mistake number one, using that for a weapon, like WTF. Not
I mean, you can't
not
use a gun
smart.
that's registered to you either. Like,
Well, there's that. And there's also the fact that a knife is a lot quieter.
Well, it's very personal too, which creeps me out because
I know, right?
He's supposed to be vegan.
So yeah, but how does that? If you're vegan, it just means you won't eat it, doesn't it? Not that you won't.
Wouldn't that, like, that still kind of correlates with each other? Like, if you're making your parents buy new pots and pans because they cooked meat in it, wouldn't you also have a problem stabbing people?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I would have a problem with that. Like, if I was vegan.
Yeah.
I have a problem with it regardless, but like, it just.
Nothing really makes sense with this guy. I mean, even his aunt, he was making buy new pots and pans to cook his non-meat. But I mean, maybe he just won't eat it. Maybe he doesn't mind creating the mess. He just doesn't want to eat it.
It still seems strange because then you would exclude, like, if you're looking for a progression into the crime at that point, then you would obviously exclude hunting from that because he wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't think so.
He wouldn't be a hunter, right?
I certainly wouldn't think so. You know?
So what is his progression then? If he's not slaughtering animals and skinning them, is his progression the peeping Tom, breaking and entering kind of guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably a belief animals are dirty and so are other human beings. Yeah. Right, Perry? You know, the thing is you don't even know how to even process what these people could possibly be thinking.
You can't even begin to try and understand that.
No, it's so foreign to any of us. You know, I don't eat a lot of meat. I'm not vegan, but I don't eat a lot of meat. But that wouldn't be the reason I wouldn't do this. It's just...
Yeah. And I'm not hating on vegans either. I'm sure you guys can be murderous. I find that strange. That correlation together is weird. Like,
yeah, and I've heard that before. He got a ticket in Moscow also about 1 mile from the house a few weeks before. I didn't know that.
Violation.
Ah, the little bastard. People put all dietary needs aside when obsessed and overtaken mentally. Maybe he was hangry.
Maybe he did need that.
He's a hangry.
He had a good steak in his life. Maybe he wouldn't have killed 4 people if he just had like
right
cow.
So I heard the jail is letting him eat vegan. I heard the exact same thing, Shauna. Like, WTF. He's not vegan out of compassion, in my opinion. Probably a sense of them being dirty and or he is above eating them.
That makes sense. Like it like I said, like I don't think that whatever dietary needs you have in your life excludes you from being a murderer.
No.
It's just it's weird when you hear a vegan.
Right? Yeah.
And especially in that manner, like.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It like what he did was a slaughter. Like if the things that he is accused of doing was literally a slaughter.
Oh, wasn't it though? Wasn't it though?
I just find that really hard to correlate together. Like,
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I can't understand a damn thing. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what set him off. I'm very curious to start finding out some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But what set him off? Who was he after? What didn't he like? Is there somebody else in that building close to there? Like,
Was it the type that sorority, happy-go-lucky, everybody loves you?
yeah, yeah.
You
Because
know, that he just fixated on,
supposedly,
like, I can't stand that kind of person.
yeah, was very audacious and extreme. He definitely went all in.
Yeah.
Oh my word, did he not? Hey, Perry?
But again, like, I
Isn't
have to
that
ask,
something?
like, where is the progression in that?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I love cow
Just,
tea.
I mean, it's a sad case all around. In
Yeah.
my mind, of course, Shauna, I love steak, I love cow. And still nobody has found any connection with them, have they? Well, what we have is him following Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie
Allegedly.
on allegedly. That's what we have. Is it sounds like they possibly have him pinging in the same places that these girls, basically where these girls were, which is why that one video with that vehicle driving in the background creeps me right the hell
Yeah.
out.
And it's like, I'm anxious, and I'm sure he is too, and this is probably why he waived his extradition rights, like, because honestly, you can't do anything during this time. All he's doing is
Yeah.
agreeing that that's him on the paperwork that they presented to him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
get me extradited. This way, the bond hearing can start if he even gets a bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
He gets access to the evidence.
That is what
they
they're
might have
saying.
against them. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'd want to get extradited as well. Like,
yeah. Yeah. That's what they're saying, is basically that he wanted to get extradited so he could see what was in the discovery.
well, this is where you get this is where the ball starts moving, because you can't do anything in it from a
Yeah.
different state. They have no jurisdiction. So
right.
Once you get extradited, like I said, like if he is innocent, this is where all the good stuff starts happening, right? Or if
Yeah.
he's guilty, I don't know,
Yeah.
allegedly. Then also the good things start happening. Because this,
Yeah.
again, this is where your bond hearing starts, like all of that stuff. So
exactly.
the
Yeah.
quicker you can get through that, the better it will
I
be.
agree. I agree. I think he just wants to see what they have, you know? And as soon as he knows what they have, he'll, in his mind, he'll think that he's got it all figured out on how he's going to get out of this. But like Dandy says here, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that this is his first crime.
Yes.
Oh,
You just
that's
don't make
pretty.
that leap. You don't make that leap. Like, regardless of, you're just like, that's it. I've had it. I'm tired of fucking people overriding me. Just rejection here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you decide to like kill 4 people?
Yeah.
No. Like, with a knife? No.
Oh, my word. And, you know, in my mind, there's something that we don't know yet that connects him to at least one person in this house.
And
I
what
don't
is
know.
that?
We're
And
hearing
what degree
things
is that too?
I beg your pardon?
What degree is that even in? If there is a connection to someone in the house,
yeah.
What degree is that even in? Like,
right.
Bumping into each other at Walmart, coming. Like, what is it?
Yeah. And you know what? Like Blifton says, his name never came up on any videos, anything. And they knew for about 4 days that he was sus. A lead up to the crimes, right? Who wakes up one fine day and thinks, yep, I'll just do this today after pancakes.
Yeah.
Right, Shauna? Like, what the hell? Their neighbors reported an intruder oh Lordy, in August at like 2 a.m. They said it was going on for a week. Could hear someone in the bushes. Have you heard anything about that, guys? Mexi?
Just I didn't look all the way into August, but when we were looking at the police activity, there was
Yes.
a whole bunch of those that were coming up, like in the days before, prior, like after.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I was watching on another program. Still, what the hell about this dog? Like, what the hell with this dog? If this creep didn't fillet that damn dog, there's another sick shit running around that area. It concerns me because that is beyond
Normal.
anything you know.
Beyond
So if it
normal.
wasn't him, who the
Who
hell?
was it?
Oh,
And that was like
whoa.
something we've talked about in previous lives that we were like super adamant about. Like, how can you say that the guy that filleted a whole bunch, like a dog randomly, the
Right.
person who's been creeping around taking pictures of homes and shit,
Right.
isn't involved with any of this? Because they hadn't caught anyone. They never gave out a suspect, obviously. And this was
Right.
before the white Elantra tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were already saying, like, oh, we're adjusting these rumors. Like, this isn't related. That isn't related. Like, how do you know? You've never caught anyone for those.
Well, that's the thing. Same thing. Same thing with those animals being left.
Coyotes.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to put this up and we'll look at it really fast, guys. Yeah, you were asking about the dog, Blifton. Yeah, this little dog. They let him out for a pee, and then they didn't see him for a while, and they eventually found him skinned and filleted. This is Buddy. Right from their backyard. They let him out to go to the bathroom, and somebody filleted the damn dog. Like, look at it. It's adorable. Oh,
yeah, no dog deserves that. Like, no dog deserves that.
Oh my
I think they even try to blame like animals for that. They're like, oh, it's just other animals. You know, like an animal skinned.
Yeah, they were like,
what animal is that? What
right.
I want to know what animal that is. Like, what animal skins a whole nother animal?
Oh my
Alien,
word.
chupacabra.
Yeah, because they were
they
were saying that it was wildlife activity.
No.
I do believe.
Oh, I mean, I guess what's their definition of wildlife? Does that include humans?
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so a friend said on Tic Toc she knew him in 2017 and he was married then. So maybe that's the case. I did hear that he had a child but was not married. So somewhere within there lies the truth.
Yeah, and that's
Doesn't
what I
seem
was
like the
saying,
guy.
Clifton. Because he's vegan, right?
Yeah.
Is that his progression? Obviously, that's not his progression. Is hunting, skinning animals, putting them out of their misery once you shoot them, whatnot. So, what's his progression?
Exactly. The prowler in the bushes was reported 2 a.m. July 12th. 700 block of Taylor, just directly opposite King Road address.
Yeah.
So are you kind of thinking that he may have something to do with the skin dog?
If they've never found anyone, right? They have nobody on the radar for that. And they immediately said it wasn't connected. How is it not connected?
I know. And how can they make that kind of assumption?
Yeah, how can you say that? Like,
yeah.
Maybe. That's a good point, Clifton. I mean, because you can actually see the progression. Like he put that study out on Reddit.
Yes.
He did the stalking. Man, but that was still escalated very quickly. Because even
It did.
with like other serial killers, if you look at other serial killers, BTK, for example, was doing this as a child. Like
Isn't that scary?
stalking.
Yeah.
He stalked his middle school teacher and was already doing like deviant things outside of her house in the bushes while watching her. Where's his escalation? Maybe we just haven't heard it. I haven't had the time to look into it.
Well, and that's it. Where is his escalation? Where is this coming from? We're not hearing a lot. I think slowly things are going to start to come out now that we've got a name. They're getting him back to Moscow. So hopefully we can start to learn a little bit more about this guy. The more people that know him and come forward, the better. You know, they're asking for anyone who knows him from any time in life to
come forward.
Yeah.
And I do plan on looking into that, guys, like, because he's been in Pennsylvania most of his life. I do plan on looking into those crimes, reports, whatever's going on there, just to kind of check. I probably won't be able to place him because obviously he's never been caught for anything.
Yeah, and you know, there's a ton of pictures that are out there that I would like to go through and see if he can be spotted.
And he was into that heroin back in high school, and God knows what people do on that drug. So,
oh my God, and that's the thing. I mean, if he's still involved in those kind of activities, damn, anything could have happened that night. You know. There we are. Yeah.
I still want to know because, guys.
Thank you,
like,
Clifton. Thank you.
It's only been 6 months. What, August to December? Right? August to December.
Oh, September, October, November, December.
4
months?
That he was at that school. What is the possibility of, like, how did you come across these people? What relationships do you have to them? What kind of relationship did you have, if at all?
Right.
For me, it's hard for me to even meet people. I think 4 months is like a really hard time. Like, it's a really short time for me to like meet someone, get somewhat obsessed with them, and then try to murder them. Within 4 months.
Well, that's the thing. But they're also saying that there's a possibility he was there in June.
Well, yeah, like I think he would have done like some scoping out as far as colleges. Again, that also brings up the question, why Washington?
Absolutely. You know, but a lot of times there's only certain universities that you can go to when you start specializing. So maybe there just was not a lot of different spots that specialized in.
But I looked into that.
Okay.
I looked into like the credentials, like when it comes to like studying for a PhD in criminology, and Pennsylvania had plenty of good schools. Like, what made Washington so special for him that he was? If we're really thinking, you know, that this dude's like that well thought out, what made him pick that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful area.
Yeah.
You know,
very close to the border too.
Could have been stalking online for a while, likely have friends of friends in common, etc. Yeah, absolutely,
It's a
Perry.
very
Actually,
close
that's
school too. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a little bit old to be hanging out with the 20, 21-year-old
Like
college
those girls
students.
didn't really
But
seem like the type to just let someone like him hang out.
right.
with-
Absolutely. He was recommended by the book lady to advance his degrees from the book lady.
She's either talking about the professor who he studied under.
Oh, okay.
But again, what makes Washington so special? Like, even for her, like if she is the one that recommended it, like
right.
What's special about Washington? Because I didn't find anything that said that they had like this superior, like people go to Yale or like Harvard for law, right?
Right.
But why Washington?
It's a good question. So Moscow Pullman had a serial unaliver before who was never caught. He was called, I'm writing this down, the Snake River Killer.
Oh, by the way,
So-
Perry, I've seen you. Guys, Perry has his own channel.
Yes.
You want to drop the link, Perry, please, by all means, do. But I did catch a couple of his videos. I was super excited when I found him.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, feel free to drop the link, Perry. Not a problem at all. What year? Are we talking about what year about this Snake River? That's very interesting.
So I can't help but think, okay, so like you have Idaho, Washington, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they're all up there. Truck drivers.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're like, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, and I mean, there's
Makes no
there's
sense.
always that possibility, right? But I want to
Early
know
up
where
here.
this little bastard's been, because I just don't think this was a first deal. I have a hard time believing that. The studies that the professors teach are individual to the professor university. Knowledge is key for him. Yeah, very well said, Dandy.
I don't
Very
know,
well said.
Perry.
And he had access to that. I can't remember her name right now. And he also had access to BTK's daughter, which is, there we go, which is also very much in that area. Knowledge is power.
It's funny because Perry, you're such a gentleman, or just so nonchalant. He's like, no, please don't look at me. Plus, it's just like, here you go, guys.
No,
I know. I did watch some of your videos, Perry, and I was like, wow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'll check them out
Actually.
too. So yeah, go like, sub, and check out Perry in the UK, my favorite spot.
With the Queen. You guys have a lot you can talk about, right? You guys can relate on this.
Right? God, love it. There we go. I'm going to put that up again. So we've been going on just about 2 hours, you guys, and then we did almost 2 hours earlier. But you know, this case, there is so much. Even though a little bit's coming out at a time, there's still like a ton of questions.
Yeah. And this, I mean, this is your think tank. So this case you can just stem off of.
Yes.
Into all different other sorts of cases, like.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There is Well, with this case, there's just a lot that's got my mind rattled right now. How did they know where he was? How did they know it was him? How did they get the tip? How many tips said that this was possibly him? There's just...
I think I'm starting to really believe that they do have that DNA evidence. And they put it through a public website.
Yeah.
And this is how they came across to him because it made sense. He was in the area, like he fit the bill. All of those good things after that, right?
Yeah.
Which again, I just want to say, people, please stop sending your DNA into public websites.
Well, yeah,
See, if you don't want your family members to be caught for murder, don't do it.
But I'm thinking if they're committing murder, I want them caught.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At the same time,
Yeah.
yeah. My
Here we go.
don't do it, guys.
I'll be subbing up as well.
I'm already subbed, so I'm good.
And the same thing, Perry. Like, feel free if ever you want to jump in. I can send you the link and you can join the panel.
Yes, come to Discord too.
Yeah.
There's plenty of information there that you're more than welcome to take.
Absolutely. And, we do a lot of brainstorming in there. We put as much information as we can. And we brainstorm. And then we come on here and brainstorm some more with you guys, because let me tell you, you give us a ton of different angles to look at. Let's see here.
And you guys have been emailing Franky. We are going to look into those cases. There's 2 of them that were mentioned prior to me going on vacation that I promised that I would look at, but I didn't because I was on vacation. Sorry. Apologies. But I didn't forget about them. And
don't take time off
talking about them.
Yeah, and then I've got a couple that I want to add as well. Israel Keys and and there's a couple other ones that have been suggested. So we'll do that too. And the nice thing about Discord is we can go through there. We've got a bunch of information, which means we can source to do these lives.
Yeah. And Discord isn't so crazy about copyright and stuff. Like, if there's anything, if you're a member and if there's anything you ever want to watch, I just stream it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can have a little stream party. I know me and Blifton have had one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I did.
And we get to talk individually and work on cases together. And again, kind of do a think tank just on a little bit different platform. So, Mekci, is there anything else that you want to discuss before?
No, because I haven't had time to look anything up. So I'm going to be researching to see if there's anything in Pennsylvania going on. I want to add a couple things to the map. And then hopefully by this weekend, we can do like a whole
on Saturday
map time.
Perfect.
Thing.
Perfect. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for joining us. It's been a really nice evening. And as usual, I really enjoyed the conversation.
Always.
Right? What a great group. So I think what I'll do is I will start my outro. And
you always like trigger happy with that thing too.
I know, it comes in so fast.
It's like it just plays.
Boom.
Okay, I guess bye.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we will see you in the next one. I'll
Yeah.
probably be back to streaming again tomorrow, see what we can come up with through the night. And yeah, I'm looking forward to another one.
Bluffton, I hope your attitude's better on the next one.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye, guys. See you soon.
Mark gets it. Go.
Bye.